Hello, gentlemen. How are we doing, Mr. Jordan? Good to have you. Thank you so much for jumping on, sir. I'm so excited to have you
Good
joining
evening.
this conversation this evening. Thank God I'm not by myself.
Yeah, no, good evening, Kendrick, and everyone else online.
Yes, sir. You've been all right, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a bit cold this week, but we getting ready for winter, and I think
Oh,
I don't know if I mentioned the tree and the lights, everything is up, so we're ready going
yeah.
into December,
Oh,
Christmas.
man. Oh, man, you beat us to it, man. It's like, I don't even know where mine is, man. I need to go and dig them out.
Yeah, people are going into the loft this time of year just to get
Yeah,
out those
yeah,
lights and everything that they stashed away.
exactly. And when you get into that loft, you find all kind of things like, all right, I'll pretend I don't see this one. Yeah, I'm after the Christmas lights. Where are the Christmas lights?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I'm excited this evening because it is Wednesday, and usually we come on here to encourage one another, to have conversation, and just to stretch one another in our faith, in our way of thinking. And I believe that that's exactly what will happen this evening. Um, I know over the past couple of weeks, we had a very interesting conversation that was facilitated by Mr. Hez, and that really challenged me because he kind of like broke it down so nicely in terms of the sections where we're talking about consciousness and how you and I are sometimes not even aware of certain things that are present in our lives, and we touch on the cost that goes with what is the title he was using. I can't remember it now. It's living on the fault line. It's like, wow. Yeah, so I don't know if any of you guys managed to have a listen to that, but it's really really powerful. And you must probably will come, will jump on Yemus probably shortly, because we're looking to pick that up again, just to see if we can dig a little bit deeper. Were you around over the past couple of weeks, Andrew?
I wasn't with the last session. I think that's the one I missed, which was
Okay.
last session. Yeah,
Yeah, but the previous one you were in, isn't it?
I was
Yeah,
with the previous one. Yeah,
the previous one. Yeah, yeah. And I think one of the things that really kind of like uh, because there's quite a few bits that you've mentioned there. We're talking about urgency. We're talking about the cost and the price that there, because there's a price to. I mean, just even if you just think about it, nothing is for free. I know sometimes that can kind of like be a you know we can have the preconceived idea that some things are free, some things are it will cost us something, but I think everything in life does cost us something. Yeah, the only thing is you are not the one that has paid for it, but somebody else has paid, somebody else has put in the time, somebody else has put in the effort, has put the money, has put the resources. Somebody's put something in there so that you and I might be able to enjoy. Um, and and I think when we do come to understand that, yes, we are after growth, we are after becoming better and discovering ourselves, because the potential that is on the inside of you and me is far beyond what we will ever be able to imagine or even think, because we know that we are unique. We know that We are made in the image of God. But even though we know these things, our whatever it is that we're after, our purpose, our destiny, it's going to cost us. To grow is going to cost us. And sometimes we have to ask ourselves, am I ready, or am I prepared to pay the price? Yeah. Am I
Yes.
prepared to pay the price? Because if I'm telling myself I'm on a journey of growth, I have to ask myself, so what is it going to cost me in terms of resources? What is it going to cost me in time, in money? And it usually costs us more than what we anticipated. It will cost us more. I like to usually refer back to one of my adventures a couple of years ago when I came onto social media, and I said, ladies and gentlemen, please pay attention. Starting from next week, I'm gonna come on here for 365 days, and I'm going. I'm telling you, bro. I was like fired up. I was very emotional, kind of like stirred up, and it's like I'm gonna come on here, and I'm going to give a word of encouragement. I'm telling you, 1 week went, 2 weeks went, 3 weeks. It's like, oh my goodness, this thing is costing me.
Yeah.
This
That's
thing is
the challenge.
yeah, this thing is costing me more than what I anticipated. Why is that? Because I did not. Because when you start off with something and you run it on motivation is good because sometimes it gets us going. But it's
Yeah.
not motivation that will keep us going. It is discipline. Oh my goodness, have I learned the lesson?
I
Have I
came
learned?
across the same question. Someone posted a question: what's more important, discipline or motivation? And motivation is good at the start,
Yeah.
but to have endurance and see things through, if you don't have discipline, you won't complete your task. But it's good to reflect. I like your enthusiasm. It's always good to start with enthusiasm.
That's it.
I remember in primary school I used to run the 100 meters, and I was never the fastest, but I always get to the line and I think I'm going to do better by coming first.
Yeah.
And then there's always someone who beats me.
Yeah. That's it. That's always that rascal, isn't it?
But I don't come to the starting line thinking I'm going to come third. I'm always thinking I got the motivation, but I didn't have the discipline to practice every day. So that's the other part where we have to do that. Yeah,
absolutely. No, I'm telling you, man, it's like what you mentioned. You are motivated, and it's like you have that feelings like you can take on the world. Come on now, let's do this. But at the end of the day, there's some work that needs to be done in the background. There's some stuff that you need to do. There's some time that you need to put in, maybe some money. And one of the things that I've even also learned is when we go on a journey, whatever it is, what we sometimes forget is especially for us as men, in terms of when you're if you are married, you're not going on there by yourself. You have to keep in mind who are the people, because if you just make a decision on something, you can be sure that it's going to affect everyone around you, especially your family, in one way or the other. And that is also a cost that we need to keep an account of, because if I fail to do that, it's like the wife would be looking at me like, what are you doing? You were like, it's like she feel like, no, this boy is on a journey of his own. It's like, what's going on? And the kids are also like, Daddy, when are you gonna come and play? It's like, no, I gotta get this thing. Why is that? Because we did not count the cost. We did not look at the things within a full picture. And I think if we don't grab hold of that as soon as possible, things can spin out of control. It can quickly become a mess. Because sometimes what happens is, my thinking is this, because sometimes what happens is, if we kind of neglect some other areas of our life, yeah, um, because I'm focusing on this one specific thing, yeah, there's a price that we are paying, because now, you know, everywhere, everybody else or every other area is suffering, because you have now made up your mind, this is what you're going to do, this is what you're after. And 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 then suddenly you realize, no, but this thing is not working the way I thought it was going to work. But the thing is, now you kind of like have to go and kind of like fix all over the place, because you, instead of taking the approach where you try to maintain everything, as you are focusing on what this one specific thing, you completely say, all of this other stuff, it doesn't matter, this is the one, let me let me focus on this one thing. And it does cost us something, and then you kind of like have to go and repair. And the next 1 year, 2 years, you have to you kind of like walk around with a toolbox because now you have to fix instead of building, so I think that's very important. What would you, what will your thought be in terms of, you know, when you're talking about what are the areas you think you and I will make sure that we don't, okay, what's the proper way of putting it? Like I've already mentioned, that it will cost us. That's settled. We don't even have to debate on that one there, unless you have a different thought on it. Do you have any? You have a different thought on that, or you think maybe not everything will cost us something?
Yes. I think one of the things we underestimate is time. We sometimes focus on how much things cost.
Yeah.
And the monetary terms, but like we all know the saying that says time is money, money is time, but time is money. If I look at say the projects we work on, I've got a charge out rate at work, and the company bids for work, and I might do a certain portion of the project, and they bill the client based on my time. Now, the interesting thing is, on my grade, when I was a junior or in my early career, I remember doing lots of overtime. You know, I had lots of enthusiasm, energy. I would go to sites and spend a lot of time making sure everything's, you know, fine, that nothing has been left out.
Yeah.
I go the extra mile, because if there was an incentive for money, sometimes people can go beyond what's really necessary. Or even if you're not paid and you have enthusiasm, you don't worry about the time. You don't have responsibility when you're young. So you just work extra hours, you get the job done. Your bosses are impressed, your line managers are impressed, but you don't count the cost of the time you're spending. Studying, for instance, when you got an exam coming up, you sometimes don't watch the time. You just want to get to a point where you're confident, tomorrow if I wake up and I must face this paper, you don't put enough effort in, and by the time you finish, you're surprised at the time in the morning. It's the next day already, and you must go sleep because you must be fresh for this exam. So time can cost us a lot besides our sleep. It can cost us lots of other things that we should have been doing in that time, especially if we have a family, we have responsibility, and our time with other people as well. I think it's important as human beings to grow, but also bring others alongside us to grow. If you have experience or knowledge or time, you can spend that time wisely. I've been asked recently to fill in for another friend of mine at church, so youth leader. He went on holiday and they were a bit short. Now I normally drop my daughter off at youth, and they ask if I can fill in for him just to help the year 13s, help the year 12, year 13 boys. But yet again, it's normally the family time, but I had to first discuss it with my wife and let her know. And also the time when she went on holiday to visit her mom for her birthday, I had 2 weeks free to do that. So sometimes we can't continue, but we can use our time effectively where it's needed.
Yeah.
And we can also plan ahead. So I guess planning with our time is crucial, so that we also have time for ourselves.
Yeah.
Have downtime. And I think the older we get, when you get to our age, especially if you're over 40, you value your sleep much more.
Yeah.
And let's say you miss one day's sleep, you don't recover that quick as when you were younger.
I know. I know, man.
It really affects you the next day. So so I think our time can be well spent if we plan, but we don't always realize the value of our time. So any off time I have where I'm doing, I don't like to do nothing, because I've got lots of hobbies. So I would spend it on things of enjoyment and relaxation, which is hobbies, even in my spare time. And I'll mix that with work and pleasure. So my breaks, I have downtime. And because I work on a computer most of the day, we encouraged also to get away from the screen. On average, I think it's at least 10 minutes an hour for the least. So in that 10 minutes, I do something else. And I think that really helped me, because I can feel an improvement. I used to get lots of shoulder aches and things by concentrating and sitting too long.
Yeah.
Because you just want the work done, but you can be more effective by using your time and planning and splitting your day up and your tasks up. And I think some recent studies also suggested for students or children at school, even our kids, is to take a 10-minute break or 5-minute break every half an hour.
Yeah.
And within an evening where they're studying for GCSEs or any exam, they about a third more effective than what they would normally be studying for hours and losing concentration. Because if you're not concentrating, you don't retain the knowledge. It's like deja vu. You're reading, but you're not taking in the content. And by the time you get to the end of the page, you don't know what you read. But taking that short 5-minute break every half an hour is something that's been proven to retain knowledge. So it's, again, time, setting an alarm or a reminder. And everyone's got phones nowadays. I encourage my kids to use, I don't know how effective they are, I have to check, but to use their phones to set reminders and alarms. They've got calendars, far better than the technology we had. But I do remember having to remember everything when I was a student.
Yeah.
What assignments are coming up, what tasks need to be done for practicals.
Yeah.
How to plan my travels, what train to take, do I have enough money, and all those kind of things. But everything takes planning, and planning takes your time. But you fail to plan, you must plan. You shouldn't be planning to fail, but it only happens if you fail to plan.
Yeah.
And then our time is effective if we have enough rest as well. So sleeping and having a good night's rest is also crucial. And then our health. We spend time on physical exercise and nutrition, thinking about all those kind of things. And can we make it part of our routine, that it's not foreign or it's not something that's a struggle? So I like to view the way we use time broken up into small bits of things we need to do in each day.
Yeah.
To complete the week, and then complete the month, and complete an entire year, knowing what your goals and focus is. Yeah.
I love that, man. That's the one, bro. I've been struggling with something, and I kind of like I haven't perfected it yet. I'm still like, um, when you've been having an issue with a specific area in your life,
Yeah.
when it comes to whether it's procrastination or whether being distracted or whether it's being not being able to focus and to get something done. That is kind of like something that I really, because sometimes you just an idea drops into your head. You're busy with something, and then suddenly an idea just drop into your head, and it's kind of like you drift off into and then suddenly maybe whether you're jumping onto an email or whether you're jumping onto your phone or whether social media, it's like your attention is pulled off the thing that you know that is important, but it's pulled away from what you've been doing, and you kind of like find yourself into doing some other stuff. And now it kind of like interesting what you were mentioning now about time. And what I've come to learn is we try to manage time, but the truth of the matter is you and I, we can't manage time, because time is constant. Time does not wait or change. It doesn't favor anybody. It just keeps on ticking, 1 second at a time. It just keeps on ticking. So you and I, we can't manage time. Where what I've come to understand is like you and I, we we is- we fail to manage priorities. And the way that I've come to understand it is the reason why we kind of like feel like we waste time. The only time you and I will feel like we are wasting time is when we are focused on stuff that are not priority, that are not a priority. Isn't it? What's your thought on that? That's what I've come to understand, because if you think about it, if I work on something that, my goodness, even if it's just 5 things, if I can get them sorted out today, you will see today as a productive day, isn't it? Why? Because you said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I know that my time is precious. I know that my time, once time is I will never get what's today. I will never get the 24th of November back. Never. You would I might say, I'll catch up to you. Can't catch up. That time is gone. It's no more. It's no more there. And I think if we have that kind of a mindset, instead of trying to manage time, we can't manage time. We have to make sure that we manage ourselves by managing our priorities. And how do I manage my priorities? I need to manage my priorities based on what is important for me. Now that might sound a little bit selfish. So really, Kendrick,
Yes.
yeah. What is important to me? Not because the thing is, if you and I just go with the flow, everything is important. Somebody else will use our time. You have jumped on here right now, believing that thus you find value in these sessions. You like to connect with people on here. Whoever guys is coming, you like to connect. You like to contribute. I'm just kind of like speaking on your behalf. And I think yeah, but in fact, let me ask you, why do you? I'm not meaning to put you on the spot, but just share with us, why would you use? You're a family man. You just finished work not so long ago. Yeah, you've got most probably other stuff, but why? Tell us, why would you use the 24th of November, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. You slot yourself in here, time that you'll never get back again. Why would you say? Why are you doing that? I hope I'm not putting you in the spot, but I think it will be good to hear. Most probably it will be a blessing to somebody on here. Go for it, sir.
Yeah, I think for me personally, I do value people. Right. And when I was younger, I always wanted to learn from others, because I found that being far more effective in me making my own decisions. But sometimes it's anonymous, because somebody might share an experience with you, their own knowledge, their own understanding of a question you might have or challenges you might face. But at the end of the day, you have to make a decision yourself.
Yeah.
You either accept it or reject it. And sometimes it's a combination of multiple experiences and knowledge from other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And me being the youngest brother of quite a few, and always having had older friends, for some reason, I valued the knowledge and experience of other people. And when it came to my career in engineering, because engineering is such a complex and long career with so many avenues you can go down, it's not a boring career because you don't ever know everything, which is good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're always learning. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
And I realized you never stop learning. So why, when you gain experience or knowledge, don't you help others along that journey?
Yeah.
And I found that especially with younger people, they might think they have all the answers, but we've got maybe more experience, and someone who's retired's got much more experience than us that we can actually learn from. When we get to retirement age, they might have better advice to say, listen, at your age, you should be doing this, that, and the other to prepare for retirement. And then there's no guarantees in life, I always say, but there's no way you can do life without preparation, because what if you get to that stage and you haven't prepared? So for me, valuing other people, despite their background, their ethnic, with their ethnic minorities or which religion, it's just the common sense of knowledge sharing, and also the interesting thing is that everybody has something to contribute.
Yeah, that's it.
And I'm surprised sometimes of what I can learn from other people. That I'm surprised that I didn't expect something that I never heard before, and it comes from somebody that I never thought would share that bit of knowledge.
Yeah.
I guess knowledge becomes your experience, and you can then make better decisions, planning going forward. And life's less boring if it's not you on your own.
Very well said, man. Very well said. I'm telling you, bro. And sometimes, myself, I would, for example, just come on here. Listen here, guys. I'm tired of all these people in this house. I just want to see some gents. I just want some gentleman conversation, because I believe that there's really something that happens to us as men when we come together in this kind of a forum. And because sometimes we think we are going through something all by ourselves. You think you're all alone. But as you continue to have this kind of conversations, you realize, oh my goodness, no, man. Some of the guys on here are also having a challenge with this, having a challenge with that. And that's kind of like, as bad as it might sound, that's encouraging. because you think like you are the only Jew in Jerusalem, but no, there are other Jews. There are other Jews that are also kind of like going through some they're also going through the wilderness, and even though you're hoping that obviously they will come out on the other side well, but I think there's that kind of assurance that, listen, my brother is able to, he managed to get out on the other side well, and I'm sure I can also do it, because it's like we said, iron sharpening iron, and I think the more we are aware of that, that we need one another, that's something that not only men alone, but I think humanity as a humanity just in general, people like to say like, I've managed to do that by myself. It's kind of like that, but I think that's the wrong approach to life in general, because we are better off as a people when we do things together. We are better off when we are part of something that is bigger than ourselves. Why is that? Because that's just the way it's been set up. That's just how it's meant to be. That's why there are certain things there are certain gifts that you are carrying on the inside of you. If I detach myself from you, there are certain lessons in life that I will never be able to learn, because you are carrying something special. I'm carrying something special. I can say that proudly, because I think for you and I to be able to bring value to other people, you got to be so sure of what you have is valuable. Excuse me. Otherwise, you will come up. You will kind of like shy away, isn't it? You're gonna like hold back. You're gonna think like you got nothing to give. But each and every one of us, we got something to give.
Yes, definitely.
And I think the challenge that we are sitting with is, nobody has most probably ever told us that, to say, listen, yeah, bro, what you are saying and what you are, the experience that you have, please, I don't hold it back. I need some of that, share that with me. Maybe we don't hear that enough. Maybe we are the place where we had some experiences in life that cause us to have maybe a low self-esteem, that you feel like what you have to say is not important. There can be so many different reasons, but the truth of the matter is that if we can have the courage just to open our mouths, my goodness, there are people that their eyes are on you and you don't even know.
Yeah, well, we talked about time earlier, and I realized as I got older, even through COVID, we've lost friends, we've lost family.
Yeah.
And time is not always there to do what our purpose is in life.
Yeah.
And we're all growing with knowledge and experience day by day. And guess what? I can't live your life. I don't know what your experiences are. The only way you can share it is through friendships and mutual respect and engaging in a conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even these sessions, we don't get everything out, all our knowledge in one go. Because you might be talking like I'm talking, and there's something you just can't get to at the moment, but you know it's there, and you still want to share that.
Absolutely.
So our knowledge and sort of gaining knowledge and information doesn't come all at one time and all in one go. So we have to sometimes go back, rethink something, and if you remember, then get in touch with the person that you knew you were going to share that with.
Yeah.
It doesn't come to mind now. But at the end of the day, our minds are so unique, how God made us, that we can manage very, very complex things.
Yeah.
It needs some concentration, but at the end of the day, we can manage that. And yeah, it's all down to us managing things that we can share.
Absolutely. Welcome, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. Good to have you.
Good evening, guys. My apologies, I'm just overtaken by everything that can overtake tonight.
No worries. So we've managed to pull it together.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's why the team rocks.
That's it.
Why the team rocks. Hi, Mr. Andrew. How are you?
Hi, Jidasi. No, really good, and I hope the same there.
Yeah.
Everyone's okay.
Yeah. All I lack at the moment is money, but everybody's struggling with the same, so it's okay.
Yeah, I tell you, when you come across some lying around, let me know, bro. I'll come and help you to pick it up.
Yeah. Absolutely. But everything is fine. We give glory to God.
Awesome.
Life is sufficient. That's all. That's all we want.
I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, we kind of like just picking up on and bouncing a couple of thoughts based on the conversation we had over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And what we're just being kind of like touching on is just the price that we have to pay, and we kind of like diverted into time, the importance of understanding the value of time.
Yeah.
Because I think when it comes, in fact, time is our most a valuable commodity. You buy a house with time. You thought you bought a house with money. No, you buy a house with time. You know, and you get a career with a degree. You get that with time.
Yeah.
You thought it was money. No, but it's time, because time is valuable.
Yeah.
And we were just kind of like just touching on those bits. So I don't know whether you have any thoughts on that, sir. Maybe that I know you got some gold nuggets that you can spit out there. But yeah, it's nothing new. It's kind of, as I said, just bouncing a few thoughts based on our conversation over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's a good that's a good idea, and adding in time there, it's a really good one, because when you think about what happened 10 years ago, and you can tell the story like it's yesterday, and you think about, you know, I can tell of events that happened 30 years ago clearly like it's yesterday. And then when I put 30 years in front, you know, I ask myself, that is that how quickly time flies? That means within that such a short period, I could become, you know, 70 or something, something like that, just like a joke. Unfortunately, life presents us with constant flow of illusions that makes us think that time is not really what it is. I'm going to do this time and that time, and we foolishly allocate time to do things in the future, when we know that the future is the future. It may not be, you know, it may not be. Even if we continue to stay alive, there are, for each of the callings and you know, talents that we have. The talents are not just to be used in the world. There is something that was said somewhere in the Bible about you know, time and chance. You know, so it's not just having that time, but the chance may not be there. And I don't know if I said it to this forum. I strongly believe, and I think it is true, that when there's a new thing that the Lord has placed in your heart, He doesn't place it in one person's heart. That's why you see when it was time for Jesus to go into Jerusalem, and people were shouting, "Hosanna, Hosanna," and I believe He was saying that even if they didn't do it, the stones will rise up and do it. You know, it's those scriptures that we don't really read. We don't really read literally. There is something behind that scripture that says, if I'm putting something in your heart, if you don't do it, I will raise someone without legs to do it. I will raise someone without hands to do it, and they're going to shine. So that urgency and that good use of time is something that we all owe to ourselves, because if we don't do it, somebody else is going to do it. And we'll continue to kneel down and continue to ask the Lord to open doors for us, to open ways for us, to make things happen. Whereas He's shown us ways, but because we haven't seen, you know, success, it doesn't look like success, you know, which is one of those illusions that we see. You know, you want to achieve something, but you have a set path. Maybe you've read in books, you looked around the world. There are certain ways that things happen, but God moves in mysterious ways. He can just, you know, what if He's trying to make you the first person that succeeds in that thing?
Yeah.
But you're there sitting and thinking, oh, I don't think I should dedicate time. I think this is something I could do in my free time. And then I can focus on other things, because you are trusting on your own understanding, because those are the things that have worked, or that's working for people today. And you go in and do it, and you're wondering, and I'm telling my personal story here, and you're wondering, how come this thing is not working? You know, one of the things I pursued in the past year was trying to kickstart my Shopify shop. I went and built the best shop that you can think of. I went and set things up, got the education I need to get things going, and put in hours and hours to get it where I wanted it to be. And guess what? It didn't work. It didn't work. And when I look at it now, I just think, the fact that this thing works doesn't mean that it's going to work for everybody. So we just need to develop that boldness that we require to break new grounds. We tend to see ourselves as less than what God has made us. And I use myself as an example. We tend to do that, but God has other better plans for us, and all we are waiting is that all that's waiting is for us to be bold enough to take that step, and you be used as an example. That's why you see some people, you look at them and you say, oh, this is one in a generation type of person, and so on. But when you step back and read the histories of such people, you will find that they've done something that's crazy, that they've been bold and gone in a direction that didn't make sense for people of their time. Think of these technology guys now who are billionaires now. They weren't going in the direction. I mean, people said computers will never be bought by anybody. That thing, nobody's going to ever have that in their house. But look, today things have taken over. So, my encouragement to myself, to all of us, is be bold. There's some, in quote, silly thing that the Lord is putting in your heart, and you're postponing it because it doesn't look like what would normally make people succeed. What is a miracle if it's going to look like it's going to succeed and it succeeds? God is God of miracle. He does wonders. He doesn't do wonders by taking you the path that everybody has gone before. He does wonders by taking you in a brand new path that everybody knows that things shouldn't normally walk like this. But they will look at you and they will say, truly, there is something about this man. And the only thing that powers that is the boldness that we can generate from inside ourselves today, and pursue things with the urgency that it deserves. And we see that the Lord will come with us. Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. You look like you want to say something, Mr. Jordan. Go for it.
I think it's awesome when Chidozie speaks, you carry the message over so clearly. That it's hard to not grasp what you're saying. But also what you're saying is not easy to forget. I always remember what the words, not just the words, but the message you carry over. I want to say there's challenges, yes, and I said earlier to Kendrick, when we have these negative things, we just flip them, right? And I had things where I had losses and thinking things aren't going in the right direction, but years down the line, that's all part of my journey.
Yeah.
And I can learn something from things that fail as well. So I think we can take away from having more experience now, and where God takes us in a direction. And at the same time, you can share that experience, which is even more valuable now, because somebody else is hearing what they might be going through is what you've already gone through, and you came out the other side. So that's really, really valuable just there, what you said. And that you're not discouraged, you're carrying on, you're using your time to go in the direction where God needs you next. And who knows, that preparation you did will come in handy again. You just don't know when, and you don't know where. Because we don't know what the future holds, but we know who holds the future. And we don't have to worry then what the future holds. But nothing gets done if we don't act.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we can put things on the back burner to say, I'm not going to do this now, I'll wait next year, or wait till things get better, till I get more finances, till the time is right.
Yeah.
But now, and if you take risks as well, I guess, you don't gain bigger things without bigger risks. Calculated risks, of course. You don't gamble everything in one place, but I guess with collective knowledge, can share knowledge amongst each other. And I think for us as men, what I found out in my projects that I work with multiple teams of loads of men, there's always something that somebody contributes that was hidden, that it lay dormant until the conversation came up. and it triggered that idea.
Yeah.
The most unsuspecting person on this project.
That's right.
And that is actually the solution. But that solution is not done by that person. It's the collective knowledge that then takes it forward.
Yeah.
And that's all the experience of others. And that's why we share knowledge on this platform. And that's why we need to encourage one another, because nothing is evident because it's laying dormant until it's ignited and it comes to the surface. But then it triggers other people to get involved, and the whole development within the solution that we need personally then comes to the foreground. So yeah, really, really good, Chidozie. I think it's really, really powerful.
Thank you.
Awesome.
The other thing that came to mind as you were speaking there, Mr. Andrew, is this one is regarding how we have to, step out and try things, even if it fails. Another thing I believe in that area is that, there's a place the scripture says that a seed will not germinate until it falls down and gets rotten before it grows. So we all have those failures that we have to go through. If we wait for 5 years, we must go through those failures. So you compare, the choice we have then is either to start failing today and maybe succeed in 5 years, or wait for 5 years and start failing in 5, because there is no running away from it.
That's the journey.
Share of failures before we succeed. And that's one thing I've discovered, and that's what keeps people, that's what keeps me going, because I make so many mistakes with things I'm doing, but at least I've done something. I've learned something from it. And tomorrow the same thing is not going to happen. But that's how we're going to continue to step on these things. We're building knowledge until we finish our preparatory stage. We then start to grow, because we continue to, we've got to go down. We've got to keep going down, staying down. We'll break it. We'll break the ground, and you see that growth. And when that growth happens, people will be looking at you and thinking, "Oh, this guy just yesterday, he's done all these things." They wouldn't know that you've been crawling for a very long time. So that's one thing I'm committing myself to going forward, and I'm inviting all of us to commit ourselves. It's going to go wrong, some of these things. We have to be able to laugh at our mistakes and learn from it, laugh and learn from it, and move on. As long as there is life and the Lord is with us, I believe that our steps are ordered, even when we go in the wrong places, even when we think we've taken the wrong steps. Our steps are still ordered, because the man after God's own heart, he said, even though I walk through the valleys of the shadow of death, thou art with me. So that doesn't make you, that doesn't push you off the boat. It sort of helps you to build, and as you build on that, one of these days, you pass the test, and things will start flowing, hopefully, in the direction that we want it to grow. So let's make the mistakes.
That's it. Man, that's the gold nugget right there, because there won't be no success without having the courage to go out there and fail. And the sooner we can do it, the better it is. Go out and fail fast. Pick yourself up again, and then just kind of like have another go at it. And I believe one of the things that I kind of like come to understand recently is that we always talk about fulfilling our destiny, fulfilling our purpose, doing what we believe we were born to do. And as you guys know, I'm so much passionate about growth, and that has kind of like become more grounded on the inside of me, because if you really look at it, your destiny and your purpose is far bigger than where you are right now. It is far bigger than where I am right now. We don't discover or walk into our destiny. We grow into it. So for us to be at a place where we want to get to, Lord, I want to fulfill my destiny. There have to be a mind. We have to have a kind of a paradigm shift on how we think about that, because it's how you and I, it is our experiences. It is how we integrate everything that we go through. Because the thing is, the journey that you and I are walking is not even for ourselves. It's for those that we will eventually meet in the future, for those that are in our lives right now. And I think the reason why we easily give up, the reason why we kind of like just get discouraged, the reason why we like, we're not disciplined and but sluggish on certain things, is because we have maybe the wrong perspective on certain things, and which is the importance of what we do today, the importance of this kind of thing that we are doing right now. It's not insignificant, because we learn from it. There's certain experience that we gain, there's certain knowledge that we gain, and all of those things we integrate into our lives and come to understand, my goodness, this thing that I'm working on is far bigger than myself. And I think that should give us that thing of, I'm not going after my destiny. My destiny is already on the inside of me. I just need to grow into it. I just need to pull what's already on the inside of me. That little bit of experience, that little bit of that little gift, that little thing that is already in there. I just gotta have the courage to just pull it out. It's like, no, fuck shit, man. What can I do? What's next? I know I might fail, but let's do it anyway.
Yeah.
Let's do it anyway. And I think as we continue to do that, we will come to realize that I'm glad I've done it, and I'm glad I've it turned out the way that it turned out, because I've learned the lessons. I'm a better man. I'm wiser. I have different perspectives on so many different things. Instead of somebody that's looking from a distance, I look at Kendrick. You think he's all that? look at Mr. Hess. You think he's all, but they don't know the journey. They don't understand that. You don't just show up, where you are, and like voila. No, we have to have that courage. So that's so well said, sir. Thank you so much for sharing that. It's about going out and just do what we need to do, and get it done. Get it done, regardless of. And I think just taking the eye of our, take the tension off yourself, and make it and realize that it's not even about us. And I think earlier I've mentioned, kind of like as me and Andrew were talking, it's about what can we build together. Anybody can kind of like just start something. But there's a chance of, if a group of people come together and say, all right, let's build this, there's a better chance of success.
Yeah.
Because there's more experiences, there's more wisdom, there's more resources, there's more finances, there's more whatever you want to put in the equation. There's more, because it's not just on one person. It's on everyone that has made a decision that, all right, this is what I want to get involved in, because I can see it will make an impact in the lives of men. It will make an impact in the life of our community. Who knows? Maybe in the life of our country, whatever the case might be. But it's about having that courage to have a go at it, even though we can't see the full picture. It's about, why not? What am I going to lose? I can only gain. Why can I only gain? Because let's, for example, just talk about this platform. If this thing ends up failing, there's so much that we've learned. In fact, it can't fail, because it can't. It's not, because failing will mean like you haven't. The only way that we can say that we failed is that if we haven't learned anything, if we just wasted our time. I can say I've learned, my goodness, gold nuggets, man, all the time.
Yeah, and it's being recorded, so even long after we're not here, Others
Yeah,
will
exactly. And I believe that failure is just an illusion. I don't think it's failure is not real. It's not real. It's not because what you might see as failure, somebody else might say, my goodness, uh, that's a brilliant thing that this guy's doing. Because sometimes we don't see things in the same way. You look at this thing from that side, I'm looking from this side here, and we don't have the same perspective on the thing. And that's kind of like something that we have to be very aware of. That sometimes we don't look at things in the same way, and that's why there are so many opportunities that there are certain things that you can learn from, which I don't learn because I can't see what you are seeing. You can't see what I'm seeing. But just make sure the side that you are looking from, that you don't look with an eye of judgment and say, oh, okay, my side that I'm seeing from is better. No, you're just looking from a different side, bro. It's not better. It's just a different perspective. It's just a different perspective. It's like, okay, and if you turn it a little bit, oh, let me see how your side is looking. Oh, okay. All right. Now we can work. Now we can work together a little bit better because I can see now what you are saying. Thank you so much for bringing it to me. That's it. And I think as men, and not like even say not only as men, but even humanity as a whole, if we can, and I think this is a thing that Christians struggle with. Can I just say it? This is the thing that believers, they struggle with this, and that is we have such a judgmental spirit on us. It's like if somebody doesn't believe what you believe, you have no business to judge anybody. You're not Jesus, man. You're not the God the Father. If somebody believes something different, you can tell them what you believe, but as for one human being to another human being, you gotta respect. Even God Himself does not force anything on anybody. He said, "I give you free will. If you want to go to hell, there it is, go. But I still showed you this is life and this is death." And I think that is what we are struggling with quite a bit. And I think we will be so much more. What was the word? Is the word I'm looking for. If we can see eye to eye, if I can see eye to eye with you without judging you, regardless of what it is you're doing, we can go far.
Yeah, no, that's so true. That's so true. I think there's this verse that everybody uses to preach to convert people. John 3:16. You know, some of these scriptures, especially the ones you're very conversant with, when you have time, please go and read them again. There's something there. I believe that a lot of darkness has come around very, very common scriptures that we know. A lot of darkness will become very familiar and we think we know. You know that scripture, the other day I was looking at it, and it says, "For God so loved the world." You know, and you think, so what's your limit? What is your limit of love as a Christian? Because I've seen it, like you were saying, in Christianity. If you don't come to my church, then if you're not even a Christian, we don't even have anything to do together. You know, but the scripture didn't say, "For God so loved the church." For God so loved the people who believed that He gave. No, the scripture says, "For God so loved the world." So loved the world. And if we take that literally the way it is there, without even spiritualizing it, you cannot say you love God and you don't love what He loves. The Lord loves the world. In fact, He's more interested in the world than inside what's happening inside the church. Because the church is not something that we gather to make God look like He's got so many children. In the church is a gathering of people who have accepted God, accepted Jesus. But out there is still where the interest of God is. He wants to bring people out of bondage. He wants to liberate people. He wants to give people a second chance, a new life, and so on. But what do we do most times as Christians? We hate those people because, he smokes ganja, for Christ's sake. Why do you think I should be having anything to do with it? You do this, but these, and even if you look at the ministry of Jesus as well, he was friends with the untouchable. That was really where his interest was, because his interest is not with people who have who are self-righteous or people who have been converted already. His interest was in people who he could bring in. So our interest as the members of the church, as Christians, should also be on the people who need to come. On the people who need to come, and not standing there and judging them. And you know, they might be going through their own failures. And you've been sent to rescue them. But because you are too righteous to touch those
too holy, bro. It's too holy. Man, that thing is just, sometimes it messes me up, man. I'm telling you. Yeah. But anyway, I just went off on a rant there. But Jesus help us.
I had to add something. I had to add this thing, because these things, when they come, I really need to say it out so that, you know, hopefully one or two people will hear it. And we even though the apostles have written what they've written, I think what comes out of the master's mouth and the way he's lived his life is supposed to be what, you know, is guiding us, you know, guiding us.
That's it. Gentlemen, we are at the top of the hour, and I do not want to get in trouble with your ladies. I still want to come and eat chicken at your house, and it's like, oh, this is the guy Kendrick that's been keeping you for so long on a Wednesday. No. So I think we're going to call it a night. Thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate you and appreciate the fact that you come and spend your time on here. Just sharpening one another and encourage one another and pull each other up to higher ground. Much appreciated, gentlemen. Have an amazing week, and let's do this again next week. All right?
Yeah, and take action on the things that we've talked about as well, especially me. Okay.
So just say that again. Say that again.
And take action on the things that we've discussed tonight. We've learned. That's it. Especially me, you know.
All of us. All right, gentlemen. Have a great evening.
Thank you so much. The Lord bless you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
God bless. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Good night.
Good night.